find a seat somewhere.
We never expected it to be blocked and could only laugh when it was. Lessons from these two experiences, picnic and kangaroo, I learned that there's almost no limit to the unintended consequences that can arise from well-intentioned attempts by bureaucrats to meddle in markets that they don't understand. And I was in Cambridge in 2013 when Ted Sarandos of Netflix told the assembled RTS nobility
device penetration, internet connectivity, then consumers will get on board. And just to follow on from what Jess was saying, in terms of where I see the market being at the moment, on one hand you could say it's somewhat mature given
losses, and they have a long way to go before they bottom out. And what
they started from a very different place.
Totally.
I mean, the US market, and we can debate how it got there, but it got to fairly full penetration of pay TV, but at extremely high prices.
Yes.
And again, the antitrust people can debate how that came about, but it really was quite extraordinary where the basic price got to, and the price of a boxing event, and so on and so on. And it was a market that was ripe for being disrupted because there was so much room for services to be delivered profitably and attractively at much, much lower prices. I think it's less extreme here because the pay TV business was only 50% penetrated anyway. So in the US, there's only one way to go, it's down. In the UK, it's a bit more complicated. And here, the pay TV business had to grow up against a backdrop of Freeview, a very strong multi-channel offering, totally free. So the bubble never grew nearly as big in the UK as it did in the US. So I think the disruption is less severe here.
So, sorry, can I ask a question? So I guess for me, I listen to what you say and I think to myself, with any new player coming in, the question they have to explain to the audience, their prospective customers, is how do you know that you want this? And how do we prove to you that you can't live without this? And until we make it about that and about them, I think anyone who does that successfully, I think, will succeed.
Yeah. I mean, it has to be it's got to be now about the niche content that's coming in that's going to grow this market. So exactly, I agree with what Jess is saying. And I think that's both in terms of content and in terms of kind of the experiential factor on it as well. But I think we've got to the point now where someone like Netflix is trying to be everything to everyone. And so now, if anything, what's coming in has to be serving the niche. And what is it going to make that person really want them and really pay that $6.99 or whatever it is on top of what they're already paying? And I do think the growth has got to come on top of it. And I do think the growth in this, though, is people that already subscribe and then most likely wants to kind of keep subscribing. And I think we've seen that already. But I think that's top.
Well, the other way in is not to have to persuade somebody that you've got something that's worth watching, and that's to take some support from someone else, because the time-honoured way of turning up in a market is just say, I've got the football. You don't really have to say.
There's a huge gap between those two. I wonder whether we will see some other kind of, the propensity of people to pay multiple subscriptions might be something that is the next kind of change that we'll see. People, I think people will be prepared to pay multiple subscriptions if they get exactly what they want.
It's interesting. I mean, in the States, I was at the pay TV show in Denver around the time that Disney Plus was announced, and the mood in the sort of US pay TV industry was very much Disney Plus is a kind of stake through the still beating heart of the US pay TV industry, because if you've got a Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN bundle, and maybe you've got Netflix and Amazon as well, that's kind of your pay TV done. And I'll take that, and that's going to cost me a lot less, barring price increases, than a big pay TV channel bundle. And then I'm kind of into filling in a few gaps, and maybe that's a couple of other subscriptions in the typical household. But that's kind of done. I mean, that's more content than any human could reasonably consume in a given week, unless there's the occasional fan-based thing you're going to dip into and you kind of have it for $5. I mean, look, in the context of the UK market, that's a little bit more complicated to me.
Yes, I think it is, because of the sporting side, and you do need to assemble quite a series of things. And the challenge here is that the price point is not $100 just to get started as it is in the US. So yes, you can assemble 3 or 4 and still be well ahead. It's a little bit tougher here because pricing was much more constrained.
Let's jump on there and talk a little bit about
Oh, hello.
That's that I eat really early. I eat my porridge really early. I eat my lunch really early.
Yeah, to be fair, it's a different routine being at home as well, which is kind of nice, I have to say.
It's a beautiful building, isn't it? I wonder if the YouTube studio's in this building. Yeah, I went to the one in.